So, I just, rewatched my video that I made about 2 weeks ago about me becoming overtired when or me becoming closer with my inner self when I get overtired. And, I was talking a lot about my trances and how I thought I was going through them again, and coincidentally, that was during exams and whatnot. I haven't really had a trance recently. I had mentioned in my previous video that I was going to make a video about, me being in one of my trances, like go for a drive and make a video about it. I had done that. I had gone and made the video and such, but, the video was really pointless. Like, I got in my car, I did everything I do to go into a trance. What I wanted to do is put myself into a trance for a video, and I simply cannot do that. I cannot put myself into a trance. And just as I was saying that, my right eye twitched, and I'm going to start paying attention to when my right eye twitches, because my right eyelid twitches, because I think it means something, now that I think about it, but I'm not really sure. Anyways, in the video I was talking about how I figured something might happen to me and I might not notice that it happened. Well, I kind of may be onto something, I'm not really sure. As you can see right now, I'm actually not in my room, and that's because I'm out in my trailer that my family has. And I moved out here about 3 or 4 days ago. I said it was to study for exams because it's quiet out here, but I really came out here to write because my house is full of a lot of negative energy. I've been finding that for years. Like, as soon as I walk into the house, my head just goes entirely blank. It's really hard to write in there, and so I decided that I would come out here, and the energy values out here, they have helped with my creativity. I have been doing more writing. I've actually had a really great some words of wisdom going on about 2 or 3 nights ago, but at the same time the energies have been taking a toll on me because they've been doing something else to me, which I really don't feel comfortable rambling about on Tumblr, but let's just say they've been making me feel things I'd rather not be feeling at the moment, what with exams and such. But normally I figured if I got out of my house I wouldn't get depressed at all, and then today I had been depressed, and then I communicated with someone and they kind of made me giggle, and it was over. But for a moment there I was just really depressed and really lonely. I never felt so alone in my life. Even though I was talking to people, talking to tons of people, I just never felt so alone. And then I communicated with someone and suddenly realized that I'm not alone in the world. And so, yeah. What I came to talk about, though, is that I think me moving out into the trailer could be that good thing that's going to happen to me, because in moving out here, and I'm only here till the end of the month because then my parents need the trailer, but in moving out here I've been very calm, not been getting overtired, even though I've been staying up really late. And I've been staying up really late because I feel like if I go to sleep I'm going to lose something. And I've had issues with insomnia before, but this is like I'm purposely struggling to keep my eyes open to either read or write, which are my 2 main creative outlets, or reading and writing. And I've felt the insane need to read and read and read constantly lately. And then when I get done reading, I immediately go to write. That always happens. If I'm not reading, I'm writing. If I'm not writing, I'm reading. It depends on my mood. And I've found that moving out to the trailer has certainly helped me to want to read more, want to write more. I find when I'm home, I read a few pages of a book and then I just can't focus on it. I'm entirely uninterested in it. When I moved out here, I got right into the novel I was in and entirely finished it. And I have another novel in my house which I purchased back around, I guess it would have been long after New Year's, probably in February or March I purchased this, perhaps even early April. I have no idea of what exact time it was I purchased this novel, but I said I was going to read it the day it came in the mail. Anyway, it came in the mail. I set it aside. I said I need to find the perfect time to read this because it's going to make such an impact on my life. And I just kept using that as an excuse to not read this novel. So I'm going to get it out of my house tomorrow morning. Either before I go to school to write my exam or after I write my exam. It's really irrelevant. I'm going to read that novel and see maybe that's the great thing that's going to happen. I've always had a decent sense of when things are going to happen. I explained in a previous video about when I play cards, I can tell what's coming next. I actually recently won some cash in a card game because I warned them not to play with me, but they don't listen. So I've always had a keen sense of things that are going to come. But it's things with that, like cards. Well, once the cards are dealt, everyone's hand is set. It is determined. It's very subjective, or it's going to happen, and that's that. Like, it's easy to predict something that's for sure going to happen. It's like when someone's pregnant, I can usually tell if it's going to be a boy or a girl, not by looking at them, but by just guessing, although lately I've been wrong in that. So it's hard to say again, but like there are certain things that I find very easy to predict, and certain things that I find harder to predict. No matter how hard I try to meditate on what's going to happen, I just cannot reach it. It's like there's a cloud surrounding it, really, and that's what I'm feeling right now, because I know something's coming. Not within the near future, but within the extended future of the next few years. I know something's coming, but I'm just not sure what. One thing I do want to mention is, other than my eye twitch, which has just recently happened, I've had tons of other physical things that have happened during spiritual things throughout my entire life, but one thing I've been noticing quite recently, and by recently I mean probably around March until now, I've been seeing frogs when I'm driving. Frogs are symbols of a lot of things, but what I can't understand is like why the frogs are being driven out of their habitats to be hopping along asphalt roads. And I mean, like, I've seen like 2 in one night. I've just rolled over them because they've been crossing the road, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to hit it with my tires, I'll just roll on over. I've had that happen on 3 or 4 occasions, but then recently, and it always seems to happen at night, but I think that has something to do with the frogs. But anyway, recently I was just driving down a dirt road that goes past a graveyard, which is kind of creepy to be going down that road at night, and I see something in my headlights, and it's like going down the road, and I thought it was a leaf flipping over, and it kept reflecting off my headlight, but what it was actually a frog hopping down the road. Not hopping across the road, not hopping in the grass, literally hopping on my side of the road. And to me, all the frogs are a sign of what I can't be sure, but I found it really odd that this frog would be like on a destination, as it would look, just a hopping down the road. And unfortunately I actually hit that frog with my tires, and so that's kind of sad, I guess. Rest in peace to that frog. But and just weird little things like that. And one thing that I noticed just now before I decided to start making this video is that I have the feeling, I hate saying this, it makes it sound about twice as creepy as it is, but I have a feeling like someone's watching me. And, I mean, I get this feeling a lot. I got it so much when I was a child that I would refuse to go places alone. Like, it scared me that bad. And, like, every once in a while, I'll get this feeling, and it's like a spiritual presence. And the last time I had it happen, I was in my room, up really late, and, I hate talking about this. It just gives me the shivers, but I was in my room, and I looked up a psychic, and the energy entirely washed over me, and I believe I talked about this in a previous video as well, but the energy just entirely washed over me and told me to get off the webpage immediately, that it entirely did not want me to find a psychic, and I have yet to see a psychic, because I want to see if there's any spirits following me, anything I should be alarmed about, just because that's a good thing to be educated on so that I'm not misinterpreting anything that happens to me. And that's about what I've had to say tonight. Just a few little things that I thought I would bring up and bring everyone up to speed. Although, no one watches these videos. I don't know why I bothered to make them. The previous video has 7 views. So to you 7 people who watched it, watch this one too, I guess. I should be getting to sleep. It is now 2 minutes after midnight. But yeah, it's just what I came to say, that you know, things have been happening and whatnot. Like, about me, something probably happening and me not noticing it, I kind of have the feeling that it's happened, and I haven't noticed, and I keep going over, like, everything that's happened in the past 2 weeks, like, in my mind, like, what's happened, how has that, like, differentiated my life, and I just got a hammering in my eardrums as I said that. Intriguing. So, yeah. So that makes me believe that something definitely has come around, and maybe it's me moving out into the trailer. God knows, really. So that's what I came to say. I really don't want to prolong this video any longer. So, good night to everyone, or depending where you are, good morning or good afternoon. And I will be back when I know more.